Look at that. That's delicious looking. We're gonna make this. It's good. Well, hello. How are you? Hey, today I'm going to be making another quick, easy weeknight meal. Okay, this isn't a weeknight right at the moment, but this one fits in really well. Okay, what I'm going to show you is actually just a dish. And then with this dish, you can easily put scrambled eggs, fried ham, stuff like that, and create a meal very quick and easy. What I'm going to be making is a thing called hash browns. Now these days, if you go to a diner, you order hash browns, what you're going to get is a potato that's been shredded, cooked up on a flat grill, usually with some butter, and then served up on your plate, often with eggs and bacon or other good things. This one is a little bit different. This is a meal, or I should say a recipe that comes from my boyhood. When I was a young boy, that's not how you would get hash browns if you ordered them in a diner. What you would normally see would be something that people might call skillet fries or country fries, or also hash browns. What we would normally get would be diced potatoes and onions that were cooked up in a special way until they were nice and deep brown and everything was sweet and you had this beautiful caramel flavor going on there. Really good stuff. Okay, and that's the one I want to show you today. This isn't hard to make. It just requires some peeling and dicing, which is pretty easy. And once we get that done, we can make delicious. Come on over and let's get started making this. It's not hard. So the ingredients we're using today, very simple stuff. I've got potatoes. I have a medium-sized onion. Any kind of onion will work. Any kind of potato will work. Just go with it, folks. Butter, some salt, black pepper, and some cooking oil. You can use any cooking oil that you'd like. I'm going to use some olive oil, but whatever cooking oil suits you. As far as how much will this make, now this is going to be easily enough for 2 to 3 people right here. If you want to double this, just increase it by an equal amount. You just have to think, how much potatoes would a person normally eat? And that's going to be the bulk of what this recipe is. Most of the liquid cooks out of the onion. It becomes kind of a background item, but a lot of flavor. So when we get this cooked up, it's going to be fun, easy, and delicious. Well, this is pretty simple. You can do this as a skin on. So if you like your hash with a skin on, go ahead and do it that way. Otherwise, I like to use just a simple vegetable peeler. There's a lot of things I like skin on for, but this just isn't one of them. So go ahead, peel all of your taters, and we'll get on to dicing those and also handling that onion. And I've got a few little tips on some of this that might make it a little bit easier. I have my potatoes taken care of except for the dicing. Now the onion, I want to take this one, I want to remove not the root end but the stem end. And I do a very simple way of handling an onion for dicing it. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. But I want to remove this paper and the outer layer of onion that is kind of thin and not up to standard. It's already leaking a whole lot. And here's the thing, it's that juice when it mixes with air that makes you cry, all right? So if you're having an issue crying when you're cutting onions, set up a fan. It will blow that fume that builds up due to the oxidation of the sulfuric dioxide that's in this onion here. It will blow that away so you don't get all of that in your face. Okay, now remembering good knife safety when you're doing this, and always remember there's no such thing as a perfect cutting technique. No cutting technique will prepare you or save you from getting cuts. It happens, all right? And it's usually due to not paying attention. Now, keeping the fingers turned under so you don't accidentally cut any fingertips, and make sure you pinch the blade to get ultimate control so it won't roll. Let's cut our potatoes. I want to make a downward cut on just one side. Okay, like so. And what that does for me is it just gives me something flat so it doesn't roll around. Now, that's the only reason I do that. So I'm going to make cuts all the way through this guy. You notice I pull the knife back out, not up, because I got my fingers holding it and I don't want to mess that up. So now that I've made all of my cuts on the size of dice that I want, which is about 1/4 inch or maybe just a hair larger, I need to finish out this, which means cutting it in 3 dimensions, right? So I'm going to divide this right in the middle. I already have a flat side that started for me. So all I have to do is put my blade down, push my potatoes into it to give my side an even side. Keep the fingers turned under, folks, and make those cuts again about that same width, right? There we are. Now, if you're going to put that finger on the other side, don't mimic me. I'm doing that for your seeing it. If that was me doing it, just like that. All right, now, when I'm doing those cross cuts, fingers under, keep the thumb behind, folks. And there you have it. Simple, small dice. Do all of those taters that same way. We'll get on with that onion in just a little bit. Folks, when you're dicing out an onion, the first thing you'll notice is that you're starting to cry, all right? Now, the reason that happens is the onion puts out a juice, okay? That juice contains a sulfuric compound. When that sulfuric compound comes in contact with the air, it releases a vapor that causes you to cry. No fun, I get it, okay? The cure is set up a fan to the side or turn on the air conditioning or the heater so you get air circulation. You get that air moving out of the area, that's not going to be a problem. All right, now next thing, after I've halved it, I'm going to quarter it. Let me set each quarter aside. Now watch what I do closely here. I'm going to make downward cuts on each one of these, just like so. And that would be a fine dice. Now here's a coarse dice. Look how much wider I make those cuts, all right? Now I'm going to turn it like so. Make those downward cuts again. Boom, 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 boom. Now, get that out of my way, I have a dice. It's as safe as any method I've known. No method is perfectly safe, but it gives a very good quality, even dice. That's just what you're looking for. All right, let's get some water in that pan. We see that water skating around. It's not sizzling off. It means we got a little of Leidenfrost thing going on there, you know, vapor barrier between your water droplet and the hot surface. So Professor Leidenfrost taught us about that. He taught us about the temperature you get when you get that. And that's a good temperature when it comes to searing, working with foods. You don't want them to stick to your pan or to leave what they call a protein stain in your pan. So preheat that pan good and hot, just like that, before you start your cooking. Now, when it comes to hash browns like this, enjoy. It's all about flavor. The more heat you have, the more you're going to get conversion in what is in this and in what is in this to release sweet and delicious. All right, so I've got all my taters in there. I've already got a little bit of brown showing up on some of those edges. Now folks, I've got this on a medium-high. I'm just adding extra oil to make sure everything is well coated. So this is a matter of patience and time. What you see as a huge batch of potatoes and onion right now is going to turn into a much smaller size batch once it's all cooked down. All right, so time and patience. And break apart any of those big ones. Now what I'm going to do is about every, I want to say about every 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to come and stir this. And I'll have to scrape it off of the bottom because there's a lot of sugars being formed down there and there's a lot of caramelization going on, and that's just part of this game, okay? So I'll scrape that loose and keep doing it until I have these soft, brown, and tender throughout. That takes a little time. Now I can go ahead Add a little salt. Not a lot. I'm putting on maybe a half a teaspoon there. The pepper you can put on at any time, but frankly I usually do this toward the end because you're going to lose a lot of that pepper flavor in the cooking process. I like it to be fresh and sharp. And the same thing on my butter. I don't want to brown the butter, so I'm going to put it in towards the end to flavor the whole hash, and it will be wonderful. I'm reducing this temperature about medium to medium low. I've got a really hot burner here, but this is looking the way it should. And that was about 6 or 7 minutes worth of cooking right there. And at times, if it starts to look a little dry or anything like you need a little oil, it doesn't hurt to add a little bit. If you feel that it does, there's a tiny bit of oil added to it, can sometimes work wonders. I'm getting this beautiful aroma. And of course, some beautiful browning that's going on. Now you're going to get some on the end of your spatula too. You know, when you're scraping this stuff up. Don't let that bother you. Just do that. Keep breaking it loose. Keep cooking them up. Because as they cook and as they get more and more brown, that's what builds that flavor, folks, and it is worth the trouble. Oh, yeah. All right, patience. So, as I mentioned, about every 5 minutes I stir this, and I'm getting about the same results. And I'm running it right now, my temperature is about a medium low. It's a really hot burner, though. Now, we can see there's a lot more brown going on in there. And that's right where I was wanting to get this. This is where I want to go ahead and give it a little of that nice, wonderful, buttery flavor. We've already got some salt in there. And remember, don't salt it again until you taste what's going on, all right? Now, if you want to use black pepper, this is the time to do that. You can use a black pepper, you can use a seasoning pepper, you can use pretty much any kind you want. I like to keep it simple with this one, all right? This is just old country cooking right here. And it works, okay? It works, it's delicious. There we go. You see that kind of caramelization I'm getting on the pan? And that's what we've been looking for right there. Okay. So I want to get that butter worked through it. The potatoes are nice and soft. And this is ready to serve. Truly beautiful, isn't it? So as you've seen from what we've just done, there isn't really a recipe as far as quantities. Now, as far as the amount of butter you use, that's mostly just to flavor it. I recommend cooking in that olive oil or some other oil to do most of the frying. Use that butter at the end to flavor it. Otherwise, you're going to end up with butter that's browned too much and probably isn't going to be as good. Just a little pinch of salt to taste, and the same way on the butter. The rest is in the magic of the potato and that onion. Let's take a look. This is going to be so tasty. So you can get a good look at this right here. Look at that. We've made a beautiful hash browns. Those are ready to hit the plate. I'm going to enjoy mine with some ham. This is great with ham, eggs, bacon, whatever you want to put it with, folks. It also makes a great dinner addition. So put it with your steak or with your fried chicken. It works well with all of it. Well, this is the part that I think I enjoy the most. That's what I was wanting right there. Beautiful. Caramelized, rich, full-bodied potatoes. I don't know of anybody who wouldn't want that. That is flat delicious. Please enjoy this recipe. Enjoy your easy weeknight meal. And folks, please have a good day. Take a look, if you would, right down into the description box there. That is where I have the links to my website. That's where I sell my recipes. That's where you're also going to find links to my Wisio, my Patreon, and other ways that you could help me out if you're interested in doing so. Thank you very much for watching, and please enjoy your taters.